Oh, hello there. Here for the story time? I don't know whose idea it was to put that decoration by the door, but it's pretty scary, right? Well, not to me, but I'm not afraid of much. Still, sorry if it scared you. Come on, sit down. My name's Fomo. I'm running things this year. Recently promoted to the position, actually. I really love Halloween, don't you? Everyone's all dressed up in costumes, playing pretend. It's great. You can be anything you want on a night like tonight. A superhero? A monster? Something from a myth? What are you dressed up as, by the way? With the cape, I was thinking something from a superhero movie, but the hood doesn't really match. Oh, are you Little Red Riding Hood? Bold choice. I like it. Some adult twist on the tale, huh? Well, you're in good company. I'm the Woodsman. See my axe? Rubber, of course. Wouldn't want anyone getting hurt. Still, we make quite a pair. I suppose you're waiting on me to save you from the big bad wolf, huh? You know, I almost ended up going as the wolf. Bit of a subversion, little mouse like me dressed up as a big bad predator. Wouldn't that be funny? I actually ordered the costume and everything, but... what do you know? The height was right, but I guess they just don't make costumes for hips like these, do they? Tore the seams right open. Had to improvise. Some jeans, a bit of flannel, and a fake axe, and voila! I don't look half bad, don't you think? I'll take that pink on your cheeks as a yes. In any case, we should get started. Huh? You expected more people? Well, there were a few before you, but you know how it is. Everyone's out to party, and a little story event like mine isn't that well attended. Even though they really went all out on these decorations. Don't the skulls look so lifelike? In any case, I kinda prefer it like this. It's more intimate. Just you, me, a few cheap, copyright-free, Halloween sound effects, and a story. I'm sure I can tell it well enough to make it worth your time. Since we're both dressed from the same fairy tale, why don't I tell you a twist on that particular story, eh? I'll make it fun for both of us. It, of course, starts like this. Once upon a time. There was a cottage in a forest. A cozy little place, you know the type. Adorable little roof, a tiny mat that says welcome. Possibly a pie cooling on a windowsill. All the hallmarks. In this cottage there lived a fellow who everyone called Little Red. Little Red was big and strong and didn't fear the woods at all, despite what his housemate told him. There were dangers in the woods, creatures that would gobble up anyone who didn't keep their wits about them. Every day, Red's housemate would say, "Be careful out there, Little Red. There's things out there to surely dread." But of course, Red would always laugh and go into the woods to collect food and firewood, always returning in good time. Things went on like this for some time. Red would leave in the mornings and come back in the evenings to tea and biscuits, cute things like that. His housemate would warn him, as he always did, not to be so careless. A wandering eye wasn't good for a man of the forest. If he didn't focus in on danger and his eyes wandered too far, they might not like what they saw. But as always, Red scoffed and the days would continue. One day, however, Red came home to find that something was off. He called for his housemate and nobody answered. He stepped cautiously into the cottage, calling, "Hello! Hello!" But no reply came until he reached the bedroom. There was a shape in the bed, a soft shape. Not knowing what else to do, Red crept closer and pulled the sheets back. To reveal a woodsman laying in bed without a care in the world. Hiya. Who are you? And of course, the mouse replied, "I'm the woodsman. I saw such a terrible beast heading for your cottage that I thought I would come and make sure everything was safe. It was empty when I got here, so I figured I would rest a while and warn whoever owned this adorable college when they got back. I'm not disappointed. Wouldn't want anything to happen to an adorable fellow like you, would we? And, what of the other person who lives here? Red blushed almost as red as his cloak, looking around for his housemate. The woodsman said, flicking his big round ears this way and that, as though looking for the person Red was talking about. Another person living here. I'm sure they're close by. Why don't you take a rest? Fretting will only make it easier if the beast comes here. Red supposed this was fine logic, but something bothered him. He couldn't place it, and when the woodsman stood up, he was distracted. The mouse stretched, and it was hard not to notice his curves. You look preoccupied. Mouse got your tongue. Poor Red tried to deflect. I'm sorry. I was just noticing, what big ears you have. All the better to hear you with, the woodsman replied, stepping just a little closer. You know, there's no reason why, since your housemate doesn't seem to be around. You and I can't have a little fun. Red wasn't sure what to do, but the woodsman was just a mouse. Surely it couldn't be any harm to go along with things. I guess not. My, what a teasing voice you have. The better to talk to you with. And the woodsman got closer, until Red found himself backed against the wall, a smirking mouse in front of him, leaning in close. Anything else you want to comment on? What round hips you have. Red gulped. He was too honest for his own good. The woodsman's smirk grew as he swayed those hips, pressing his hands to Red's chest as he softly, sweetly said, "The better to keep you with." Red paused, blinking. Keep me? What do you mean? The woodsman pressed closer. You'll find out. The woodsman leaned closer still and whispered sweetly to Red. You know, at this point your friend asked, what a gurgly gut you have. You're a little off script, but I don't blame you. In any case, you'll get acquainted with that first, and then we'll see how much you enjoy being my hips. Red was confused. My friend, he wanted to ask? What do you mean, he wanted to say? Because, unfortunately, Red wasn't that smart. However, before he could, the woodsman opened his jaws wide. Red had but one moment to look into the soft, glistening maw of the beast of the wood before he was enveloped by it. Powerful throat muscles pulling him down, down, down into the warm, slick, squeezing embrace of the woodsman's belly, to add to those hips he liked so much. Oh, what a lovely story. I do love a happy ending. What's that? That's not a happy ending. I didn't tell it right? Well, I for one think it was a very happy ending for the woodsman, and one that I think we should act out, perhaps. What do you say, Red? Want to be part of my costume? No.